So it is what it is. And like the writers will say, we're just trying to buy in time. And then we go join the Ako gang. Would you want, what name would you want to see the editor? Should it be the Rollins?
I heard they want to name it Rollins House.
Rollins House.
Yes.
It's going to be bad at all.
It's not bad?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, I don't think it's not bad at all. I think it's the nicest thing for the NDC to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, to remember the man who has brought us this far. For me, I see it to be something that will live on with us as a nation as we soldier on for God and for country. We'll be joining. It's almost 8 a.m. PCR is almost 8 a.m. If we could get the Deputy Communications Officer to talk to us on this matter, whilst we push to find answers to questions, to find out why they want to name it after the man who laid a cornerstone for the party to be what it is. But isn't the NDC has evolved with time?
Yes, it has. The NDC has evolved with time, and not just the NDC. Every political party will go through those changes. What I have heard political scientists talk about is the fact that parties changed into the image of the leader of the party at the time. Yes, so the Rollins NDC, the PNDC time, very, you know what I mean. Yes, and then it came to the 1992 to 2000 NDC, of course, also very vibrant, modeled after the founder, Jerry Rawlings, very charismatic in nature. Yes, and those were the days that you hear that, the NDC lacks intellectuals, the NDC lacks this, and then people was a party of intellectuals and all of that. Probably because they were modeled after the founder. They were more strategic, more charismatic than the other side of politics, than the legal, the economics, and all of that, even though they had the Kosiboches and co. But when you listen to what political scientists say, the days of that MPP, Edubuahin, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, President Kufuor, MPP, and the late,
Dan Roches and stuff.
Dan Roches, Jake Otanka, and their minority leader, he is late now, Jade Mensah. Vis-a-vis the NDC at the time, you realize that these guys were more charismatic, while these guys were more academic and all of that. Then came President Rawlings, and then it toned down drastically. And so yes,
so
the
leadership.
Yes.
On the line. Now, well, let's cross over to, we have on the line the Deputy Communications person, in the person of Godwin Akogan. But before, Godwin, before I say good morning to you, we know the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, in collaboration with the J.J. Rawlings Foundation, is set to commemorate the 79th birthday of its founder and then the former president, Jerry John Rawlings, on June 22nd, 2026, under the theme From Revolution to Fourth Republic, the Rawlings Legacy. The event seeks to reflect on the life and leadership enduring impact of a man who played a pivotal role in shaping Ghana's political history. We know the commemoration will also feature the naming of the NDC headquarters after Rawlings, the unveiling of his bust, and also the public lecture examining his contribution to governance, democracy, accountability, and national development. More than 5 years after his passing, Rawlings remains a significant fixture in Ghana's political discourse, admired by some for his anti-corruption stance and commitment to social justice, while others continue to debate aspects of his revolutionary era. As Ghana continues to deepen a democratic journey, questions remain about the relevance of Rawlings' ideals, the lessons from his leadership, and the extent to which today's political leaders embody the value he championed. And once again, I want to say a very good morning, and also allowing us time to have this conversation with you. And good morning to you, Mr. Akogan.
Good morning, bro.
Great. Now, the question is, why does Jerry Rawlings continue to occupy a prominent place in Ghana's political history?
All right, thank you very much, and greetings to your cherished viewers and listeners. First of all, we have never in our history had a single person who has been at the frontage of our presidency or our democracy for a period of 20 years. That is the first record that we appreciate. He had, 10 years of revolutionary rule, and then another 8 years of democratic rule. So when we are talking about Rawlings or the history of Ghana, it is not possible to take away the name of Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. Secondly, the sacrifice that JJ did, I can tell you again that none of us politicians or none of us advocates can ever do that. After his May 15 coup failed, he was court-martialed. And as human beings, as people who have blood running through us, the only thing is either you are admitting, begging, or something. But for him, that was not his story. He took full responsibilities of everything that happened. How many of us politicians today can boldly stand out and say that, yes, I was the one who led it? And in fact, don't extend anything to any of the other people arrested. They were just following my instructions because I was their commander. I was their leader. I am responsible for this. Apart from Christ, I'm not sure we've had someone like that in the face of our politics. And he has always been consistent with his beliefs, even if he is wrong. He's been consistent and has always stood up for people, just as he did. In fact, his statement that I am not an expert in law, neither am I an expert in economics, but I am an expert in going to bed on an empty stomach. That is a statement that resonated with the people of Ghana because people felt what he is feeling, and people knew that they are going to get a leader who feels and has gone through things that they are going through. So when we are talking about Rawlings, there are a lot of things that you cannot take the name of Rawlings out. And for the first time that we also had someone moving or transitioning from a military rule to a democratic rule. Ask the NPPs. They will tell you that during those days, they didn't even believe that Rawlings was going to move into a democratic dispensation. Even when President Kufuor won, he was still wondering if Rawlings was really going to hand over power to him. And this is the man of many parts who was seen as unpredictable, was fearful and all that, or let me say he was feared by a lot of people, but he humbly left power with no chaos, with no, even his coup was a coup without blood. That should tell you how the hand of God was with him. So if today the NDC has decided that his birthday, which is the 22nd, is going to be used or is going to be celebrated as part of our anniversaries, then basically this is the reason why we took that decision.
Quite interesting.
And in fact, if I would add, most founders of political parties have this honor of their headquarters being named after them. And that is what that's the cue we also followed to take that decision.
Now, is the team from revolution to the Fourth Republic, the Rawlings legacy, and an
Yes.
accurate reflection of his impact on Ghana?
Yes, that is the theme for the occasion. And as you would know, this is the second anniversary. This decision was taken last year when we commemorated the first anniversary. But this is something to reflect on, something to let us know why the coup happened, how Ghana was, and the way the transition happened seamlessly. That is what we are celebrating, and that is what we want to recognize our founder, His Excellency Flight Lieutenant General John Rawlings, for.
Now, which of Rawlings' values and principles remain relevant in Ghana's current political landscape?
I didn't hear that.
Now, I was asking that which of the Rawlings' values, its values and principles, if you're looking at our political landscape now, which of his principles and value remain relevant currently in our body politics?
All his principles and beliefs are relevant today. You see, this is a man who was not selfish, who was for the people, and this is somebody who believed in probity and accountability. Keep your mind and all that. So he never gagged anyone. What he believes in, he stands by it, and he makes his opinion known. And that is what most of us today are also doing. Because if you are in power because of your greed or your selfishness, then it means that you don't belong to the NDC. In fact, you don't even belong to the beliefs of our founder, His Excellency Flight Lieutenant General John Rawlings. You don't even belong to that tradition. You know, so these are something that we have lived with. We believe in it. You can do well. You can do well without taking things belonging to the state. You can do well without grabbing everything that you have the capacity to do. And that is something that we'll keep celebrating.
Now, we're looking at a Ghana that has a youthful population. And I don't believe that most of the young people now saw those errors. How do young Ghanaians who did not witness Rawlings' perceive his legacy today?
That is why some of these lectures that we do on June 3rd and 31st December, and now adding the 22nd of June to it, these lectures help in the formation